Welcome back, students. Let's learn how to remember words or guess the meaning of the words. So, there is a trick with prefixes. Root words are words that hold the meaning of the word. Now, there are certain words like prefixes and suffixes which are added before a word or after a word. So, suffix is added after a word, prefix is before a word. So, the examples of prefixes are mono, anti, mid, or trans. So, for example, now the first prefix here is non, and the meaning is of non is not. So, example is non-profit or non-refundable. So, profit is a word, but when there is no profit or you're not going after profit, it is non-profit. So, when you have a non-profit organization, they're not for making profits or non-refundable. So, here you don't get your money back. Next is re, which means again. So repeat, you're saying the same thing again, or rewrite, you're writing the word again. Trans, which means across. So transportation and transmit. So now we are transmitting the waves and the sound waves basically. So that is transmit. Sub, which means under. So you have a subway or a submarine. So you will see that a boat goes on water while the submarine goes under the water. Mono, which means one, which here is monarchy or monogamy. So here monogamy is your in a single marriage. Monarchy is where you have a king ruling. Miss, which means wrong. So misspell, misstep. Next, un, which is again not or something opposite. So unable, you're not able to do something. Unafraid, so not afraid of anything. Anti, which means against. So antifungal, which will fight the fungus. Antisocial, so that means you're not very friendly person. Next is mid, which means middle, like mid-air, midday. So midday would be not morning, not evening. Pre, which means before. So preamble. So the preamble of the Constitution, you must have heard that. Or prefix. So the prefix is used before a word. Semi, which means half or partly, like semi-final, semi-conscious. Ambi, which means both. Ambidextrous, where you can use both your hands. Ambiguous. Next, bene, which means good, like benevolent. Like, for example, you have a king who is very good. So you will say he's a benevolent ruler. Or beneficial. That again is something that will help you. Mort, which means something related to death, like mortuary, where you keep the dead bodies, or mortician. Next, port, which means carry, like portable, porter. Porter is a person whom you would have seen in a railway station, helps you carry your luggage. Next is aqua, which means water. So, aquarium, aquatic. So, for example, you don't even know what is an aquarium, but then you can guess it will be something that's related to water if you know the word aqua. Next, cent, which means 100, like centum, centipede. Now, for example, you say it's a centipede. So you know it is something that has to be doing with something 100. So it is 100 legs. Fract, which means break. So like fraction or fracture. Chid is judge, like judiciary and judgment. Bio, which is something related to life, which is biology or biomass. Homo, which means same, like homophone, homonym. Hetero, which means different, like heterogeneous, heterodox. Micro, which means small, like microbiology, microorganism. Next is therm, which is heat, like thermal or thermodynamics. Next, un, which is used for negative, like unhappy, unreal. Post, which means after. So you will see postgraduate. So after graduation, you are studying. postpone, that is you're delaying. Re, which means repetition, like repeat, reply. Sub, which means under, we've done this already. Anti, which means against, like antibiotic, antidote. Tri, which means three, triplet, trimester. Next is bi, which means two, like bifocal, binary. Multi, which means many, like you say multi, he's multifaceted, or if you see multicolored. Pro, which means forward, like progress, promote. Auto, which means self. Autonomous or autobiography. Co, which means together. Cooperate, coexist. D, which means remove or down, like demote, derail. Over, like too much or something above, like override, overcharge. Super is too much, like superficial, superlative. Inter, which means in between or between. So interact and international. In, which means not, like invalid, insane. Sometimes you see that they have two meanings as well, or something which are kind of closely related. So we will be doing more examples of prefix in the future. Thank you.